Dr. Farouk, very honored to have you with me here in this little talk about space.
It was a fabulous event, very interesting really. Something he said, I'll call it after a great science man, spaceman that I know. Call it Farouk. Call it
And you were the one who decided where would Armstrong land on the moon. You were the one who decided where would Armstrong land on the moon, which direct the astronauts to land on a specific area on the moon to let them do the historic thing. And you're like, you were the general secretary of the whole team. You were leading a team and doing that. Would you please talk to us a bit about this era of your life, which changed a lot in our space life. Since I'm working for a space now, because of the moon landing happened. That's why we're working for this now.
Indeed. In 1967, I went back to the United States of America, and I actually got a job as a geologist at NASA headquarters. And I started by looking at the satellite images that were taken before the Apollo program by something called Lunar Orbiter. And I became very heavily involved in planning the Lunar Orbiter imaging, where would it take pictures, and I became a real expert on Lunar Orbiter and its images. And when Lunar Orbiter finished, I took all of the photographs that Lunar Orbiter had taken, studied them fully. I sat down with them from the beginning of March to the end of September, one by one, thoroughly studying them. I didn't do anything at all except study these lunar pictures and classifying them and classifying what I see in them. And I asked myself, where do we go to the moon? And I thought to myself, well, if we wanted to go and see every single type of feature that we see in the lunar orbiter images, where do we go? So I found out there are 16 sites on the lunar surface, all of it, that if we go to all of it, we have seen and sampled every conceivable type of feature on the moon. So I went to my colleagues, the geologists that were working before me, and I presented that to talk, and they had a meeting in September and to discuss the upcoming selection of sites, so we trained astronauts according to the place that we select. So they are the ones that, after that meeting, they are the ones that suggested that there should be one of them that would be conveying the results of our mission to the NASA headquarters bosses, the big bosses, and the Congress or anybody else that would check on this. Where are we going to land and why? And that group itself, we were 28 geologists. That group itself is the one that selected me as secretary of that landing site selection group from that day on. And I stayed secretary of that selection group until the end of December 1972 with the Apollo 17 mission.
Did you meet Michael Collins, the commander?
Of course, Michael Collins, yeah. And we would go to Michael Collins, and actually most of his two buddies at the beginning, and then Michael Collins alone, to tell them about they were called at the time targets of opportunity, meaning places on the moon that we like to get more photographs of if the opportunity arises. So they were not planned in the mission. They were called targets of opportunity. And that targets of opportunity was like more of the military term. Yeah, sure. Because targets of opportunity, if you're flying and you see a tank somewhere, shoot it. So this is targets of opportunity. Was kind of like that.
All what's in my mind is German language through other positions.
Ich kann auch in Deutsch sprechen.
Oh, super, Doctor.
All of the technologies will be different.
The ancient Egyptians thought that this whole space
it's politics, so that we can succeed ahead of the Soviet Union. Let's put our minds all together and see whether we can get to the moon to benefit from it somehow.